Welcome everyone to the Nothing But Banter pod.
It's fine. We keep going, man. Keep going.
Fuck's sake, bro. Like literally 2 seconds. Fuck up. Alright, hold on. Alright.
No pressure.
No pressure. Right. Welcome everyone to the Nothing But Banter podcast. I am your host, Brookzilla, and with me today is Defiance.
What's going on?
And we have Wolfbuster.
Yo.
So, this next hour is going to be a geek's wet dream. Talking about movies, anime, games, possibly comics, and maybe more. Now, first off, I just want to start with, going on with the current climate of Marvel phases and the upcoming DC releases. Like, gonna kind of talk about what we all kind of think about, the, dare I say, DC versus Marvel in the live action movies, let's say, for example, because it's sure to bring up one for the debates for the fanboys. And, chime in whenever you feel like, guys, but I honestly feel that, panning one against the other is always going to be, as I said, a good topic of discussion depending on which side of the fence you kind of fall on, so, I mean, yeah.
No, I agree, but it's so hard. It's easy and also hard to compare both because they've both taken such different approaches. Whereas, like a discussion we've had before, DC is supposed to be quite light. Superman isn't supposed to kill, but didn't he kill Zod in?
Man of Steel, yeah.
Yeah, in Man of Steel, he killed. He's supposed to be that Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And they've made him quite dark.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the tonal feel of certain characters is not matching up.
Yeah, I agree with that because the thing is it's like you're saying though. The only thing is, it's like, it's the character base is a big thing. How they're story driven. Sorry, not the character base. They're story driven. DC is a very story driven comic book. All that it's based on the characters. What you fall in love with is the actual characters. Whereas I think what makes it easier for some of the Marvel characters to be pulled off is the pure fact that they began to develop their depth later on through the comics, and I think that came later on, and they don't have to explore as much. Maybe that's just me speculating on that kind of side of it, but I really feel, an example like Watchmen. What really annoyed me was when it first came out, because it was around the same time as the Dark Knight series.
Oh, yeah.
There was too much of a conflict of interest there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but what happened later on is, it suddenly became a, what do they call it? A cult classic, Like, it's just, as it is, it's just like, really? So you paid no attention to before because you got locked into, Batman and that. Do you know what I mean?
It flew under the radar.
Yeah.
It did with a lot of people because Batman overshadowed it completely.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. Because if you ask a group of people, do you know who Batman is? You're going to get a definite yes. You ask them, do you know who the Watchmen are? You're going to be like, who's what? What men?
Yeah,
Who's
exactly.
watching me? They don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of people will, but again, it's not like they've fully invested into the stories or the characters, so they're not going to know in full detail.
Yeah.
They'll probably know it only as the film.
True, yeah, very true.
Most people don't even realise there are comic books about it. There is more to them. They know simply, right, there's Roach, there's Dr. Manhattan. That's all they know. They can't remember any more characters apart from that.
Yeah, no, it's so true. But the thing is, do you know what it's saying that? Do you think that makes the Marvel films easily come across to the general audience?
Yeah, but that's because with the Marvel movies, how many is there? 12, 13? There's enough of them.
Yeah, there's at least 3 for each character.
Yeah.
Because they've done 3 for Iron Man. They've done 3 separate Hulks.
Yeah.
At least I think. They're doing 3 Thors now.
Yeah, the third one's coming up.
3 Captain Americas.
Yeah.
2 Avengers.
Yeah.
And obviously the other characters are going to be introduced. They're all getting their solo film.
Like Black Panther.
Black Panther is getting his film next year. Spider-Man just had his new film partnered with Marvel, which was really good actually. I was surprised.
But you know when you're saying that, I mean, like, do you reckon because with Marvel, you've kind of had Marvel characters ingrained into you more of a kid, and as you reach your kind of teens, like you probably reach over to more the Batman side of it. So do you reckon that because of that aspect, that's why everyone's kind of less critical on Marvel and more critical on the DC films because of the lack of knowledge?
Probably, because to me personally, I don't know about everyone else, more of the Marvel heroes are known to me. They're not afraid to showcase some of their lesser heroes. They've got their main guys, Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor. That's their main trio. But they'll introduce you to these other guys, which will make you research them, which will make you say, "Oh, who's this guy?" I mean, most people didn't know about Black Panther before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they had no idea who he was. But as soon as he showed up, people were invested in him. They're like, "All right, I need to see who he is." Okay, he's a king from Wakanda. He's got this superior technology. He keeps his own country secluded. Most people didn't know about Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I guess a few of the late 80s and 90s kids did, because they might have watched the X-Men and they know, right, that's Magneto's child, Quicksilver. They knew who he was. They're not afraid to show their heroes in live action. As Marvel's a bit more reserved, they stick to what people know. DC, they stick to what people know.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to introduce, for example, people know Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But they don't know there's 3 different human Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Most people only know either Hal Jordan or
John Stewart. Yeah,
exactly.
Because of the cartoon series.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
they don't know about Kyle.
Yeah.
They know
Guy Gardner. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because the thing is that, but that's what I'm saying, because like you say, we through 80s and 90s, it was drummed into our head, because you lot remember the original kind of Batman series with, what's his name, Vince Conroy, is it?
Oh, Kevin Conroy.
Conroy, yeah. Forgive me, because I know I'm going to get slated, sorry, and I'm talking on the podcast about it, but you know, no. Because that was drummed in our heads and come into the expectations of what we knew as a Joker, you know. And the thing is you look at it, same with the Superman. Well, Superman's cartoon came later. The Justice League cartoons came later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it was in the 2000s, and that's when I think people began to get a bit of a knowledge. I think that's when they kind of spread a bit wider. But the thing is like, what do you think that DC could do to probably change it around? Because would you say that Marvel are currently on top?
Well, they are. The truth of the matter is they are.
They are.
They've released too many movies. They've actually developed their characters. Now, with Infinity War, there's supposed to be like, what, 30 plus characters in that one movie?
They took their time. They took their time. They were a decade ahead. While DC was still making films, how many Batman films have they made in the last 10 years? They didn't actually introduce any new allies or possible heroes as, Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
At the end, Marvel's got that thing, whenever they finish a film, there's the after credit scenes.
Yeah.
And they'll possibly introduce a hero or show you someone or show you a possible villain. It'll be a tie into either the next film or a different hero's next film.
Yeah.
But it's a difficult one, because it's easy to compare.
Mm-hmm.
But Marvel is too far ahead of them. They've thought this out. They've planned their phases.
Sorry to cut you off, but do you reckon that's because they were at risk of going bankrupt? Do you think that their problems have forced them to really go back, look at it, and then try and come back stronger? Because as you say, DC have been jumping at the same live action movies. How many times have we seen Superman's and Batman's origin story? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's one of those things where it's just been drummed into your head, and it's like, right now it don't need to happen no more. So do you reckon that that's probably what gave them the lead, because they had time to sit back and truly plan?
I think they did. Yeah,
you would have thought so, because, like you said, because they're going bankrupt. Obviously, they want their properties back, because Sony's got some properties, and so has Fox, and obviously they want to try and get them back. But as far as DC's concerned, they just saw that Marvel has got everything like planned out, and they've just tried to throw everyone in that Batman v Superman movie, and it hasn't worked out. You've got to develop the universe before you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think there was something you were saying earlier about Kyle, about what's it called? When we was talking about how well, when we was discussing Spider-Man, how well it fit in to the Avengers story with all the alien artifacts. You know, spoilers here, people. Sorry if you ain't seen Spider-Man.
That's your own fault if you haven't seen it.
Basically, yeah, because you need to go out and see that. But yeah, no, how that fit in with the whole universe as a whole, it really sat well. You know, it really created that Spider-Man's actually a part of this. Do you know what I mean? And it's going to be interesting to see how they fit in with the
rest of the other characters.
Defenders series.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
To
okay,
see
yeah.
how that's going to tie into that, because it's still technically the state of New York. Do you know what I mean? So that's going to be interesting to see how it all ties in. But I think so far what they've done is, as you said, they've built the universe, you know, and I think with the desperation, DC have initially tried to throw in the Justice League into that right away.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, get the Justice League right in right now and hope for the best, you know. And I see it as one of those things that, as Wolfbuster was saying, you know, it's how to put it, Marvel are ahead by far, and I hate to admit it because there's a lot of stuff that had reached out to me from reading the various different DC comics, but Marvel are so far ahead in the live action movies. So like I say, as we kind of deviated, but what would you like to see, let's say, from DC? Because in all honesty, we all agree that Marvel's basically
they've got
it right. They've got it right, yeah.
And they're ahead.
Yes.
If both started at the same time with the superhero trend, they would either be neck and neck, or maybe DC would have been ahead. It's just because Marvel went ahead and started this whole new superhero trend. Superhero films have always been about. They've always been about, but it's always been DC that's made the superhero films. And I think Marvel's, you know, really took their time. They've watched the films. They've seen, right, what was good, what was bad, what could be improved upon, what could we take out. And they started it again from Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't really Marvel, it was more Fox or Sony, sorry.
Yeah.
They took their time to watch it. That's why I'm sure they didn't interfere as much. And then when obviously Homecoming came out, they were like, right, we're going in. This is what we're doing. And the way they tied everything in, as you said, the way they built their universe, they didn't need an overcomplicated scheme or plot to integrate everything. It was quite simple.
I get you, but do you think there was anything, what would you like to see from DC? Because we know, like I said, we know Marvel,
right,
their thing, but what would we like to see from DC, bro? Because
first of all, a decent villain. Don't get me wrong, I know they're building up to Darkseid, and he's going to be the main goal.
Yeah.
I want to see a decent lesser villain. That's what I want to see, because I'm sorry, the Joker, the way he is now, he's ridiculous. He's fucking whack. I can't deal with this Joker. Doomsday, that did not look like Doomsday at all.
CGI Ninja Turtle thing, yeah. It wasn't good, man.
Doomsday, that was the worst possible.
It's not even that. They didn't show the full extent to Doomsday. Anyone who's read comics or even the previous cartoons know Doomsday has killed or kind of killed Superman once in the past.
Yeah.
No, he initially, because I remember having the collection of that comics.
Yeah.
Because that was the time when, and this is what I'm saying, when DC were actually willing to kill off characters. And the thing is there was a whole thing of it, because I'll never forget, he didn't just kill Superman. He absolutely, I remember the picture of it, he absolutely smushed Supergirl's face. Like, they just showed the box, and then her face was just like, it just looked like, what's his name? Either Matisse or one of them artist painters where the eyes were over here and everything like that. Like, they really underplayed Doomsday. Doomsday is that guy that scared Justice League of America. Because they all stood on and watched as my man Superman scuff him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and as I said, they've underplayed it. But when they did tend to bring him back, you'll see from the Doomsday movie, Superman's technically sleeping, and I bet you they're going to go down that route, which kind of is quite frustrating. Because I'm sorry, like you guys say, you need to build it first. You can't give my man 2 movies and then kill him off.
That's what my problem was. When Superman died, I didn't feel nothing. That's Superman. I was supposed to be like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Superman just died.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of the movie, you see the coffin and the rubble starts going up, like, and then it cuts off. Like, okay, he's alive or whatever. Or he's gonna come back. Yeah, there was no development with the characters.
Defiance, what would you like to see from DC in a sense then? Because, I mean...
The thing is, with DC now, obviously, you'd like to see Superman being, you know, more kind-hearted, caring about people and that, but because Zack Snyder's made everyone sort of Batman. I don't know, they're like...
Dark and emo.
Yeah, like, each character's supposed to be different. So, hopefully, they can just gradually change him a bit. Like, especially now, if he does come back, maybe he'll be a bit different or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to see that, and maybe not make the universe Batman's universe, because it's not really DC's universe. All the stuff they're talking about in the future, there's this Batgirl movie they want to make. There's a Nightwing movie they're gonna make.
Oh yeah,
they need
looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to all of it, but what about everything else? Because like even like the Wonder Woman, they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna make the second one. Well, wasn't that even planned? They didn't even have the director, was it Patty Jenkins? They didn't even have her tied down for a sequel.
Oh my God.
And now she just signed the new contract or whatever.
They're winging it.
That's the thing.
I think one of the things that they could do, and tell me if you don't agree with this, is what's it called? You know, with the Flash series,
yeah,
where they've got some of the original writers on there, and they've had people, what's it called? Where they've had people, the original writers on there, which have actually added to the success of the Flash, the series, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they need to bring some of those guys into the movies and actually sit there and dictate to guys like Zack Snyder, who are very visual directors, and let them know that this is something more than a visual, you know? Like, it's something else, do you know what I mean? Because I think that's what is really hiding them back, is they're trying to compete with they want to go for box office visuals, rather than
the actual content
in it, which is a shame. And I tend to think, you know, like, you know, right now, Marvel's going to be on top until they finish their phases, by far. They're just going to grow and grow and grow, you know? Like,
the way I see it is, the superhero trend is not going to die out. It's not.
Nah.
Simply because, right, there are so many heroes, and many of them are so interesting. Some suffer from mental health issues, some of them are orphans, some of this and this, some of them are that, and they could easily relate to people, and people would like to. I mean, I don't know how many people would love to see a Moon Knight film.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I
would love to see
that more darker character. Yeah,
exactly. He's a great character. I would love to see a film like that.
But the thing is like,
I think that'd be better as a Netflix series.
Yeah, and do you know what I think is really going to take over? Netflix stuff. The Netflix series is, because you got to think about this, and this is like their expansion in a sense. They've hit it off from Jessica Jones all the way through to be able to do the Defenders, Marvel, right? Do you know what I mean? That's scary, because if you think about what DC have had, Smallville series, Arrow, The Flash, like, they've got it tied in well, do you know what I mean? They really are being able to broaden their horizon without having a lack of quality, is the biggest thing. And I honestly think that, you know, some more of the underrated superheroes would be decent. Do you know what I mean? To pop in and maybe start getting a bit of a spotlight, because as Eddie Wolfbus was saying, you know, like, some of it is how to put it. Oh, I'm losing the words for it now. But it'd just be nice to see some underrated and something we don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be an implosion with every. If you look at
Oh, of
every
course
kind
there
of
is, man.
in like, every genre, there's going to be it's going to be oversaturated and fold. But do you know what I mean? Is there any of those underrated heroes out there that we could consider? Do you know what I mean? To try and get in before, because like, I'm sorry, no one even cared about Deadpool until the movie came out. He was an underrated one, and then because of the film, all of a sudden everyone's on the Deadpool bandwagon. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I think they show an underrated hero can work really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is exactly the thing, because before Deadpool came out, I talked to people about, oh yeah, there's this character, his name is Deadpool, he's got some of the abilities of Wolverine, his healing factor, this, that and the other, and it's like, oh, but he just looks like a different Spider-Man. That's all it is. But after the film came out, people went in, they were like, oh yeah, Deadpool, yeah, I know all about that. But it's true, the underrated heroes are going to make a comeback. But it's not even underrated heroes that I want to see. I would like to see solo films on certain villains. There are certain villains I think would make good films, like Deathstroke.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
That's a good one there.
But do you reckon that's gonna have to be an R rated?
They should take these risks, go for the R-rated films. I mean, they did it with Deadpool, so why not?
But everyone thinks Deadpool's the first one.
Oh, Blade was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even the first Batman was. The first.
Oh yeah,
was
when they
Tim
first
Burton. First, that was. Do you know what I mean? That was still pretty great. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I think what's happened with the Deadpool hype was like everyone kind of, and it's because it's reached a mass market.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, because Blade was freaking awesome. No one ever really mentioned. No one really kind of brings Blade in because he is that kind of underrated, undercurrent character that's a bit too dark for mainstream.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't see it as a Marvel or superhero movie. It's more of a horror movie to them.
Yeah.
And that's how it's
I'm
marketed.
sure most people wouldn't even know Blade is part of the Marvel universe.
Yes, yeah.
That's so true. And they had points in Spider-Man. Oh, that would be hilarious if they brought freaking Blade into Spider-Man. That would be so. I know it ain't gonna happen, but
He was. I mean, they could do a Howling Commandos film, which is basically
Yeah.
kind of horror-ish type film, and they could fight a lot of the supernatural side of the Marvel universe,
yeah.
which would be quite cool. But again, certain characters would need origin films, certain wouldn't, because you just know certain characters.
Okay, I just got to throw this out there. Is there a necessity for origins film? I don't think there is.
Well, you can.
It depends. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. It depends, because for us, we know a lot of the underrated characters, so we know their origin. But for someone who has no idea, they're like, okay, who's this guy? What's he about?
Yeah, you can. The thing is, you can just do it maybe in flashbacks, rather than like, the everyday Joe or whatever his name is. He gets his powers this way, blah blah blah. Start off when he's in the middle of a battle and do it backwards, like kind of like Deadpool. Deadpool did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, because I think it kind of keeps the flow going. Because again, it's one of those things of where we're bogged down in the idea that you need an origin film. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be honest, how many of the wider audience is actually going to care? Do you know what I mean? That's why I liked Homecoming. Do you know what I mean?
We've had 2 Spider-Man origin films.
Yeah, so the third one would have been. We didn't need it, man.
See, that's where Marvel have learned and DC haven't. Do you know what I mean? Because you think about it, third one, Homecoming, they just went with it. DC, they did obviously.
Oh, no, opening credits, yeah, and was it Batman v Superman where they showed his dad getting shot?
Yeah.
It's
basically another flashback
outside
to that.
the cinema again.
Oh, okay.
With the
I don't need to see Batman's parents being murked off again.
Yeah,
But
everyone knows.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's that whole thing of if you've done it, just carry it forward. And I think that's where Homecoming really set in, because yeah, they just rolled with it. Now, I mean, for me, like, other than a few, how to put it, politically correct decisions, because this is going to be a bit PZ, but, like, I don't know what it is about having to change everyone and necessarily bring in minorities to do something. And it's cool. It's not a big deal for me, but it just kind of... I think I'm a bit too much of a purist, because I still think that there are quality minority characters. Luke Cage, Black Panther, do you know what I mean? Someone help me out here, because I'm just...
Miles Morales.
Yeah, Miles Morales.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there is enough, so you can roll on with as you're doing, but just bring in some of the main heroes.
Yeah, I agree with you with that, because like with this, the MJ thing at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming,
I hear that.
I just thought it was forced, because originally when the picture came out of that Zendaya, whatever her name is, she was playing this character, everyone thought she was going to be MJ, and then they said no, she's not going to be MJ. But at the end of the movie, right at the last minute, she's just like, oh, my friends call me MJ, even though like 2 minutes before she said she's never had any friends. So
Yeah,
I think that's a bit more like a slap in the face for the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can introduce characters of colour, whatever, but you can't just change every character, like even Flash Thompson in that.
Oh, yeah. There's an
Originally.
Indian guy.
Yeah, so I
went
don't know.
against them, but it's just weird. Because
It was unexpected.
Yeah, it's an unexpected twist, and you know what I mean?
You deal with it, but
Yeah.
it's still unexpected. I mean, for Flash, we're used to seeing the
Jock.
built jock blonde shoving Peter in a locker, you know, bullying him. Don't get me wrong, he still bullied Peter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course
But
he
it
did.
was
But I
more
mean-
of a verbal type of bullying.
Yeah, it's more
Well,
modern day bully, isn't it?
Yeah, which is just moist. Nah, because that's what I'm saying. And to be honest with you, like, having the Vulture in it was just awesome. And, what's his name again?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
He
I've
was
got a bad
brilliant.
memory, but he was brilliant at it. And I think it's one of those things that really pulled that film together. I think if they didn't, I think that's what you were saying earlier on, where they've got, because he's not a major villain,
No, he's
But-
not by any means, no.
but how he played that character was enough to make you go, oh damn.
And
This is-
and it was the character motivation. He didn't have a grand scheme. It's not taking over the world. It's not being super rich. At the end of the day, the core was he wanted to help his family, give him a good life. That was it. There wasn't any.
And he got fucked over by freaking
Oh, that damage control.
yeah.
Yeah,
He got
so-
fucked over, so he just went bad. Raggo.
His job was to clean after superhero
Yeah.
messes, and then the superheroes are cleaning after their own mess. So he's out of a job.
Yeah.
It's not that he's out of a job, he's out of money because he's had to hire these trucks to help move, and the people that he's supposed to pay, they're out of a job as well. And it was emotional. You could not that you could relate, but you could see where he's coming from. You could see his conviction. Yeah.
I did like how they didn't kill him off as well.
Yes.
I thought that was a wicked step, because obviously you can bring him back in future movies.
Because I think that's what they're going to hope to do. I think they're going to get enough money and try and buy it back. Because I think with the kid that they've got playing Spider-Man,
Tom Holland, yeah.
Tom Holland, his acrobatic abilities in real life is what really makes the character like come to life so much more.
Yeah.
Because you look at it, you've never had a real, actual acrobatic Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
definitely true, yeah.
You know, the earlier ones, it just looked rigid. It just looked like, what's that emo kid's name again? I really hate him.
Andrew Garfield.
Nah, he was kind of alright, but it was still, it wasn't the same fluency. He had the cockiness, but he didn't have the fluency of Spider-Man in his movement. But the one before, he was always...
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, hit like a 30-year-old playing a teenager. Like that was just weird.
I think it was good for the time,
The
but
camp.
as we've moved on,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, as we've seen other versions of the same character.
I'll be honest with you, I never liked them.
I wasn't a fan. I was never a fan, but I was a fan of the films.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the person who played him,
Yeah.
or how he portrayed both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. As Spider-Man, he was too. As Peter Parker, he was way too feeble.
He's a bitch.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
pretty much.
He's a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
emo little bitch, and then as Spider-Man, he weren't cocky enough. He didn't have the swagger that Garfield had and freaking Tom Holland has. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think where Tom Holland matches it perfectly is the acrobatic skills, and it's slightly whingy but slightly cocky. Do you know what I mean? Like, he kind of pulls it off well as Peter Parker.
Yeah, well, he's actually a teenager, isn't he? So
yeah, exactly. That's true, actually. He does it really well, do you know what I mean? And big up England for representing in that team, do you know what I'm saying? But, no, because, yeah, and I think, you know, in the next... Because they're doing 3, aren't they? It's a trilogy, right?
yeah, that's what I heard.
So it'd be interesting to see who's going to be coming next, villain-wise, because, yeah, I mean, I'm honest with you, like... How are you going to top Michael Keaton as the Vulture? Like, realistically. Who's going to cut... They'll have to get someone of the same stature and someone equally as quality to roll with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but it also depends on what villain they're going to get. Because
who would you like to see?
realistically, I want it to build up to the Sinister Six. That's what I like to see. So we've already got the Vulture.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've already got the Shocker.
Yep.
So that's 2.
He's a bitch, nigga.
Scorpion was sort of introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scorpion's
Oh, yeah.
introduced, so that's technically 3. So we only need another 3.
Yeah.
So they've got quite a few they can choose. They can choose Doc Ock,
The Rhino.
the Rhino. They could choose Electro again.
Yep.
They could use Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
They could use the Lizards.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'd like to see characters that we haven't seen before in previous Spider-Man films. So I don't want the Doc Ock.
Yeah, because he was slightly ruined for me.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably improve on the character.
Yeah.
On the way he acts, the person they choose to cast on it. But I think that character's been done now. Electro, Jamie Foxx did a good job, but not good enough for me.
Yeah, it was mine.
It wasn't. Yeah.
The Lizards, again, I was disappointed with the Lizards. So I would like to see a Kraven the Hunter, because he's a guy with no abilities at all.
He's just the best hunter in the world, isn't he?
He is good at what he does. He's just a hunter. He lays traps. He hunts. That's his thing.
Now, this is my thing. It would be really awesome. To be honest with you, I think that's probably would be the next best one. But with them doing a trilogy, you're actually seeing it working, because, you know, in a sense, they gave Vulture kind of a origin, but not a lot, and he pretty much had a film to play out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to work the rest out. Like, for me, I'd like to see Rhino, because how they ruined it in the last Spider-Man
with
series,
the mechanical
with
Rhino.
the mechanical Rhino.
The end. Yeah.
I'd like to see them bring in the Rhino, because that's something that's like, try and change how they ruined it from before. Correct the previous director's wrongs. Do you know what I mean?
They actually make him a super villain rather than
a
a dude.
mutated Rhino, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, because if they do Sinister Six, they've already got the Vulture as their intelligent... There's always going to be one intelligent leader.
That's it.
And that would probably be the Vulture.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be him.
Well, I mean, is there anyone you'd like to see?
I'd like to see Mysterio and a Chameleon, to be honest.
Ooh.
I'd like to see them team
Wow.
up. Not in the second one, in the third one,
yeah.
where everyone loves Spider-Man. For them to use that love and just turn it against him, like Robert Bank as him, frame him for bare shit, and proper fuck up his life. So when he's finishing high school and moving to college or uni, whatever, that he's got to start from scratch. No one likes him anymore, and proper just go for it.
Oh, damn, yeah, no, that's actually, that is actually one of the ones where it's like, shit, yeah.
Because they make sense together. Like,
that would... I'd like to build on that. I'd like to see maybe the reason why they're doing it. Maybe he's going to save a member of a friend or a family and he doesn't get there in time, or he has to make a choice and saves kids.
Rather than
adult, and then payback. I want to tarnish your image. I want to ruin your life just as you've ruined mine.
Yeah.
But the only thing that kind of kills that is his connection to the Infinity Wars, in a sense. Because like you see with this one, Iron Man was always necessary watching over him. Tony
Yeah.
Stark was always watching over him.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to lose someone, because he almost did lose the kids when he went to Washington. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was a big kind of. But even so, and the shit bit. But it's just like, will they really allow it go to that extremes, considering you have already, a tie to the Avengers?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's got that tie now. So realistically, if something's going wrong, logically, someone's going to try to jump in. But it's just a matter of how they distance him from it, including what comes forward with...
We can't forget that the Avengers have their own stuff to deal with. Peter said he wants to stay on the streets.
Yeah, he never joined the Avengers, didn't it?
Yeah. They will call on him when need be, but they've got bigger problems to deal with.
So that's why I was saying, like, in the third one, I'd like to see that. Because
Yeah.
in the second one, he's probably taken out, 10 villains by this point.
Yeah.
Everything's cushy. He's never screwed up.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
yeah.
won't be watching him. Because New York's his. He's a protector of that.
Yeah.
And then in the third one, get over his head. And then maybe they'd come in to help him.
True.
And by that point, I'd like to see him have his own allies, which are not tied to the Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I think the only way that they could really put it off well, right? I just want to see, for once, them take from the cast of a real good TV show, i.e. like the Defenders,
Yeah.
because they've got them set. They've got the same thing with them changing the Flash in the DC movies. You might as well have taken someone across who has the fans already. Do you know what I mean?
It's a lot easier that way.
And everyone recognises the thing as the Flash. Do you know what I mean? So that would be an easier aspect of carrying forward and actually, bringing more people about. Because like you're saying with Spider-Man, can you imagine Spider-Man with the current Defenders cast?
Yeah.
Or even with, dare I say, just one of them. Do you know what I mean? Daredevil.
Yeah.
That
That's
works
true.
so well, but the problem is Daredevil's a bit X-rated, so I mean, couldn't have him putting people's faces through pipes and that. But you know what I mean, like, because they're kind of set in. Some of these people do deserve to be brought forward, to kind of really pull to get things together.
Yeah.
Because you've got that feel already, and it kind of hurts when it's like, for me with the new Justice League film coming out. I'm not gonna lie, to see a Flash with some. Oh no! Before I go on to that, you see with the suit that he was about to show him at the end of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Remember I was saying to this when we went to the cinema, mate. What is it in this generation of movies that they all want to have the flashy metallic shit? Have you noticed that? Like,
They want the shiny and
shiny
that's
new
what it
suit.
is.
Because like you look at the 80s, 90s, it was the proper overly ripped ab latex gimp suits. Do you know what I mean? And then now it's just gone the complete opposite, shiny new.
It's that new cast thing.
Yeah, because it is like, if you look at Flash's outfit in freaking the Justice League, it just looks like some robot shit. And I'm just
They've taken that from the Injustice universe, which is a bit weird.
Yeah,
I found that a bit weird. Taking
thank
bits
you.
from every... Because I didn't realise, in Batman v Superman, you know where he's at his desk, he wakes up, Batman wakes up, and then he sees the portal open and Flash's head pops out? I didn't know that was the Flash until like 5 minutes later. I had to proper think about it.
and that's from Paradox.
And I watch I read comics, you know what I mean? I had to think about it. So the average Joe...
Won't even have a clue. Yeah. So, hey, do you know what? It's that thing of where they go too deep and then...
Not explaining anything.
And not explaining anything to those who know, and then explaining way too much again and again, you know? So, like I say, I did go more from a massive tangent, but the suits thing, that drives me nuts.
I'm glad he didn't pick that suit.
Oh, so am I. I would have walked out of the film there and then.
I just wanted to know what he'd done. Because if it's... Because this one...
I'm with you on that. I was expecting some kind of Iron Spider attachment or
That's
something.
what I thought. It was going to have the yellow prongs or whatever. The spider legs. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in one of the films.
I'm assuming he's going to have a metal suit in Infinity Wars or whatever it's called, Avengers 3. Because going up against Thanos and that, you can't be wearing that.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you this now, they were talking on one of the sets,
Yeah.
and it looks like it looks like what's it called? That he's got his normal suit. Maybe something's changed. It looks like it. Like he was standing there talking. It just looked like the bog standard suit that he's got at the moment. So possibly it might be that, or they might move on from it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
You never know. Do you know what I'm saying? But it could be one of those things of yeah.
What I'd like to see with him, and this might be the child in me trying to scream out, is some kind of affiliation with S.H.I.E.L.D., like in the Spider-Man cartoons that ran the last couple of years.
Yeah. No, I get you. There are some of those things that would be nice.
Even some of the characters in those cartoons, like Nova, I'd love to see a Nova film.
Yeah.
Because that could tie in easily with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I think that's what they missed in that movie, because they made the Nova Corpse, but they didn't look like they had any powers or anything.
I was really hoping for him to, just drop in or...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, I'm Nova. I'm going to be doing this for you guys. But no, they missed an opportunity there. But like I said, look, there's going to be another Guardians of the Galaxy film. Maybe he'll be introduced into there.
Yeah.
But like I said, they've got a lot of content to play around with.
Do you know what? Guardians is another one. Another one of those films of underrated people that blew up out of nowhere. Yeah. Because the Guardians was on the same page as Deadpool. No one had a fucking clue. Same as Howard the Duck. Only a few people got that reference. Only a few people got that reference.
That's because that 80s movie.
I saw Howard the Duck. I was like, oh my god, it's Howard!
That's what I mean. But again, it blew up out of nowhere, and I think that's where Marvel have taken heed of our unknowns are actually decent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But also, they had things with the Marvel movies. Each of them is specific. Like this one had comedy in that. There's always a certain thing, whereas DC.
Do you know what? They just try and throw everything into one, or just make it emo.
Yeah.
We're in the world of emo because everything has to be dark, miserable, and depressing. Do you know what I mean? When I go to watch a film, I don't need it to be depressing. I like a decent storyline in that, but I watch a horror or a thriller. Sometimes when I see Batman and stuff like that, I want to have a little bit of a break. Do you know what I mean?
I hear that. I remember in the Superman film, I think it might have been the Man of Steel, or the one where he's fighting Zod.
Oh yeah.
Where Zod relays the message to the whole world, trying to fight. It was dark. Everywhere the message was broadcast, it was nighttime.
Yep.
That can't happen, for one.
No.
It just can't happen.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make sure they kept it at that dark tone.
Alright, do you know what? Did you ever watch Top Gear?
Not really.
A bit, yeah.
No, because they always had this thing with like a filter where the top end was slightly greyer to the bottom, where it would be blacky kind of grey.
Yeah.
And then that was what Superman was. It's like they had this constant filter of just mostly grey at the top and lighter at the bottom, whilst waving some flashing lights in your face to give you an epileptic fit. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just, damn. Of all people, like at least, you know what? Yeah, at least with the first Captain America film. Yes, it was kind of cruddy. I didn't really like it, if I'm honest. It wasn't the greatest, but yes, it was origin. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But it was still... You got that he was the poster boy of the all-American thing. And yet, your equivalent in DC is Superman. But yet, like we said a lot earlier on, they emoed it out. And it was just like, you know what? Cool. Because I had never known Superman to snap nobody's neck and then scream after. Like, you's a killer.
See?
You's a killer. I don't care. You're a killer now.
I mean, he's never fully gone and killed someone. He's removed people's abilities before by giving them a lobotomy, I think it is.
Oh, no, that
was the Doomsday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did it to... I can't remember what those guys were called. And in one of the Superman films... Sorry, give me a minute to figure it out which one it was.
Come on, bruh.
I know. Superman versus the Elites.
Yeah.
He did his little laser thing straight into the guy's head. He was alive, but he had no powers anymore.
Yeah.
And he acted a bit insane then. He was like, oh, you want to see me go crazy? I'll show you crazy.
But DC have leeway in the animated series, or not the film, their films, because they go for the dark stuff. If you're trying to go out there and hit the mass market with your films, you can't go for your emo stuff.
But basically, what they've done wrong is they've let Zack Snyder have the whole universe, and he's dictated that everything's dark. I mean, visually, don't get me wrong, he's a great director visually, but content-wise, they should have done what the animated Batman did.
Oh yeah,
that's dark. But when they made the Superman animated series, they changed Batman's overall look.
Yes.
To fit in with the lighter universe, because it's easier to cross over.
Yeah, he still remained that element of darkness.
Yep.
But Superman balanced him out.
There you go.
And what it relied on was the righteousness of justice.
Yep.
That's what it was, rather than just being a complete emo twat. But
yeah, they're both fighting for the same thing, but how they go about things is different. There's that conflict,
and they never did that with the films. But I'll be honest with you, I think right now with those films, because I'll tell you what, we could go on about this for the next 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Because there is so much with the phases going on. Do you know what I mean? And the next 2 years is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
3 years even. Do you know what I mean? The next 3 years is when we're going to realise at what state what is going to happen with each. And I think, in saying that, I think one of the best things is it's an interesting kind of... it's an interesting time to really be people who enjoyed comics and superhero movies.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's definitely our time to shine.
It's our time now. So do you know what I mean? And even saying that, if you start thinking about another thing that's become such a massive thing in our day and age, and this is how you knew it started becoming a big thing when Netflix started taking up shows, was animes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, without doubt.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because you think about it, we had obviously the ones before Dragon Ball Z, as we all kind of remember, on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Which is kind of some people's first. Which was some of us's first kind of breaking into that stuff. Do you know what I mean? But to see where it's at now, it kind of. I'll be honest with you, it kind of irks me. But it's exciting because at least I can just pick it up on easier streaming services.
Yeah.
But then you do get people who have no idea opening their mouth about stuff. So that's just my resentment, They
quickly go on Wikipedia, read a couple of lines, and then they know the shit.
Know.
Yeah. Because my thing is, it's everyone jumps on the Dragon Ball bandwagon.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. Do you know what I mean? It is the biggest
one.
Well,
most of them didn't know. Their first experience with Dragon Ball was Dragon Ball Z. They didn't even know about Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what, my first experience was Dragon Ball Z. But I was lucky enough to have a mate who had his dad was abroad, China. Yeah, that's it. China. It was China, and used to send the DVDs over. So I kind of watched a couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Z, liked it, and this kid was a couple of years older than me. And then I ended up going to his and we was watching Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay.
And it was subbed. So it was all the ones where, the opening where it's basically his dinghy's hanging out. And I was just like, what kind of shit is this? Man's jumping about with his penis hanging out. Like, what? But again, I got into it through that. Do you know what I mean? And then I really got hooked onto it. And then I started expressing more. But what I found was, especially going through high school, was that probably 5 people per year, let's say, per year in school. So what's that? 25 people probably really watched anime or Dragon Ball Z's or started to get into that aspect. Because I remember I used to buy DVDs. Do you know what I mean? Some of the DVDs, what's it called? Vampire Hunter D. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got... No, do you know what? That's actually a lie. I tell a lie. Because my first one before Dragon Ball Z was Akira. Now this is one of those stories. I got to tell you the story beforehand because this is poor parenting, but I don't care. So obviously my mum and dad didn't realise about Akira or anything like that. So therefore they were at one of their friends' house, me and my brother there. They're like, oh yeah, this looks like a cartoon, let's put it on. I spent half the time with my eyes closed. Because it's just like, oh no, this is bad, close your eyes.
It's
You know what I mean?
not for kids.
It's not for
not
kids. Do you know what I mean? My first real experience was, if I'm honest, was with Akira. I remember watching it again later on. But you know, there are a lot of people who, like we said, started, and you know, you had your handful in school. But then what I found was, in the past 3 years, even maybe less, it's turned into this thing where it's just like, boom.
It's become mainstream. It's more popular these days, and with events like Hyper Japan and Comic Con, and it's become more easily accessible to the average person. I mean, some people might not go because it's not that they might not go. They might attend purely because they know someone who's going and they get invited, and then they build a rapport for it. They see an interest and they take it on themselves. Like, my first anime happened to be Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball.
Same.
I was 4 years old, and the thing that caught me was special moves, all the bright colours, and the laughter. I watched mine dubbed.
Okay.
Luckily for me, but
at least you got that. I had to watch it in German. Me and Nathan watched it in German. It was some random channel, and we clicked on it, and that's how we found it.
One was dubbed in Portuguese, so I was just like, "Oh, great! This is fine." And then obviously when I came to the UK, I had no more Dragon Ball, but you know, my parents being cheapskates like they were, got some illegal pirate dish, and then there we go, we've got it back, and I was happy with that. But obviously, as the years went by, my love for anime just continued to increase, where I've got a watch list with hundreds and hundreds of animes we've not watched.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it's ever going to stop, to be honest. The quality of their shows, the story that they're telling, it looks like it's made for children.
Yeah.
But they deal with some seriously adult topics at times.
But do you know what I think the common core of it is? Like, you get your bait ones, you know. Like, some of them, like, what's the one? Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just violence.
It's pure gore.
Gantz. Total violence, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing is if you watch most of them, like, that Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, all of those, Fairy Tail, they're ones that are built on camaraderie, work hard, train hard.
Yeah, and you'll achieve something.
And you'll achieve something and be good. Which, what people don't understand is, like, if you're promoting that in your show,
it's going to rub off on people.
do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'm sure in one way or another, shows like Fairy Tail, Bleach, Naruto.
I can't forget Bleach.
Yeah, they without you knowing, they have rubbed off you in a certain way, whether it's in your way of thinking, your way of acting, or whatever.
Because, I mean, look at what happens when most people watch EastEnders and Hollyoaks. They're pregnant at 16.
That's right.
It's about selling you a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You watch characters like, I'm going to use Naruto as an example. He was the outcast of the village. Yeah, he worked his way up. Yeah, he became friends with people, even though the parents have said, children said, no, don't hang around with him. He's not good for you. He's a demon. XOXO. And then he built his way up. He like you said, he worked hard. He trained hard. He was an emotional guy. He did a lot of stuff for attention, hence painting statues in the village, doing this and that. But he realised things don't always go your way in life.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got to make things go your way. And he wasn't a character that was going to straight up and kill his enemy. He was going to try and reason with them. He was, like a lot of people in the anime culture say, he was more of a talk you no jitsu type of guy. He wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's the problem with his son, though, man. His son is... Whereas Naruto wanted to talk, he still whoops some ass. His son is talking, and still talking. Come on now, man.
Yeah. I mean, you can see he has got some special ability. I want to see more of it.
What is that eye, please? Because
don't get started on the eye.
no one knows what it is. He goes to his grandfather. His grandfather says, "Oh, you may have something." It's not that. It's not the Byakugan or whatever you call it. It's not.
It might be a version of the Byakugan, maybe the Tensagon.
Yeah.
But It's
Or the
it's,
Rinnegan
it's,
or
frust- it's
whatever.
frustrating.
I just want to know, man. What else does it do apart from seeing that, this guy's miserable and he's got that purple cloud hanging over him? Come on, man. Give me something.
I mean, when they went into the whole other world or realm, you saw some kind of lightning appear around his eyes.
Yeah.
I thought something was going to happen with that, but
then
nothing.
What's their thing? What's their weight? Because that's often the issue. Though. They just love dragging shit out.
It's a long anime. They know they're going to run this for. You think Naruto ran for what, like 15 years, more or less?
How many episodes did that work out to be?
Oh well, the original series was it?
The original
222 episodes, something like that.
Yeah, and this series was.
And then Shippuden was
500 odd, maybe 600 odd. I can't remember exactly.
Cause...
So this is going to run for years.
Nah, because I'm just saying, because there's Naruto and One Piece. Because One Piece is just at stupid levels.
I am not even going to guess. I have never watched an episode of One Piece. I'm not going to now. It's too long.
Really?
No, you'll never catch up.
I'm up there. I'm caught up. Yeah, bro.
What number is it at now?
It's 800.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not doing that.
No.
I remember someone telling me to catch up
though.
when it was at 500. I was just like, yeah, nah. And then now it's at like 8. I'm just like, yeah, there's no.
Nah, you either watched it when it was coming out like I did, or nah, bro.
I tried.
Go.
No, like I said, I tried. I tried in such a way because obviously this was before, you could stream stuff. So I tried to watch it on Cartoon Network, and Cartoon Network let me down as always. Do you know what I mean? Cartoon Network just let me down. Like, because I remember watching Frieza versus Piccolo for about 2 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Before he finally turned Super Saiyan at some point. Do you know what I mean? I'd finished high school by that time. Do you know what I'm saying? But the problem was, it was before internet was easily accessible. Do you know what I mean? If it had been at that time, I would be, because I'm a binge watcher. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love to sit, but yeah, now it's a no hope. But
it's too big of an anime to even introduce someone to.
Yeah.
I mean, again, going back to Naruto, I started that way too late. I started that back in college.
Oh, okay.
And by the time I had started it, Shippuden was already out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Shippuden was already out. I mean, I think they were quite deep into Shippuden. I think Naruto and Sasuke already had their kind of first little bit of beef together.
Yeah.
And I had just picked up Naruto. I had started. So I binge watched, I'd say, a good quarter of Naruto in a week. So I took the week off college. I called in sick and just watched Naruto. My mum would go out for work. I'd leave the door and then come in through the back.
Oh, really?
And that was my life for the first week. I came back to college a week later, like eyes just drooping down. Everyone's like, "Oh, Wolf, are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then I could actually talk to the people who introduced me to it. Although, again, I was late. They're like, "Oh, yeah, you have no idea what's going to happen." But I felt the need to catch up. But the more I watched it, the more I liked it. And it wasn't the need to catch up. It's because I wanted to know what was going to happen. But One Piece, there is no way I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah, there's no.
I'll wait for the long ass box set.
yeah.
Fair enough.
No, so that's over the course of a lifetime to catch up. The thing is what I've really found was another one that was slightly underrated that everyone thought I was crazy for initially watching at first.
Yeah.
And that was Bleach. Because Bleach is one of those ones. No, because you know what? Like it's how it finished was kind of a flop, if I'm honest. But Bleach had that amazing kind of mix of culture and the beliefs of the afterlife and stuff like that. Spiritualism and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Working your balls off to, do you know what I mean, and protecting your friend, and some actual really good fights. Realistically, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it actually had a decent story to it as well.
With Bleach, I only started watching it 2 years ago. I only started it for the first time 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I finished it within 2 months.
Yeah.
Because a friend introduced it to me and I was putting it off for years. I was like, no. Because I picked it up before and I watched 2 or 3 episodes and I was like, no, this isn't going anywhere for me. Yeah. I'm not happy with this. And he's like, oh yeah, keep going. So yeah, I decided to download all of it and I watched it. And it was good. The only thing that pissed me off about Bleach, every anime is going to have a filler episode.
Yeah, this has arcs.
It has filler arcs.
Oh god,
like 3 of them.
Yeah.
3 major.
I'd waste like a good 20 odd episodes watching something that has nothing to do with the future.
That's
like
true.
finding
That is true.
finding some little girl or a lost princess or fucking whatever.
Yeah.
It pissed me off.
That is so true.
As
that's
soon
my main
as
problem.
I finished watching Bleach, and I sent this friend of mine, which you happen to know, John, a very angry message for wasting my time. But it was a good anime.
Yeah.
But then it goes with the another anime I watched recently, which I tried up in the past. It was can't remember exactly what it's called. I'm going to butcher the name. I know one of the characters is called Reborn.
Oh, Hitman Reborn.
That's the one. Yeah. Again, I picked it up years ago, and I dropped it. By episode 5, I was bored. With
Yeah, because
anime-
it takes like 20 episodes to get into
yeah,
it.
it took. Yeah, that's exactly it. Someone told me after episode 20, it really picks up. And
So-
I have a 3-episode rule. If I'm not interested or invested by episode 3,
Oh, okay.
I'm most likely going to drop
So
it.
that's obviously why you like freaking Attack on Titan.
Yeah, kick up for the first episode where you see his mum die, you're like, no, that's what it is.
The first time I saw Attack on Titan, I was just like, what the
Sucking
fuck
off.
is this? I was like, oh yes, it's a little village, they're in danger, and then all of a sudden his mum gets yammed up.
And you're like,
I was like, oh god.
I'm not forgetting the next episode where just more people getting munched. Consistently, just people getting killed off in that first season, which was epic.
There are animes that you'll be invested in by day one, first episode,
yeah.
or by the first 3 episodes, you'll be invested in. But there are certain animes that take too long to get started.
I feel you. Don't you think? Okay, so you saw that online. You kind of enjoyed.
I enjoyed that from episode 1, from the simple premise
I
that you're in a game.
Okay, cool.
You cannot escape this game.
Cool.
The only way you can escape is by defeating the bosses. You die in the game, you die in real life. I was sold. Just with those few sentences.
Okay, cool. No, because do you know what I mean? Because that was, it wasn't slow to get into.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's still kind of it tailed in.
Yes, it took its time.
yeah.
But you knew what was happening.
And I suppose it goes into you because you're like you're gaming fiends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
We
easy
all are.
to
We're
relate
gaming
to,
fiends
isn't it?
because it's easy. Yeah, as I say, it's easy to relate to. So I suppose you just kind of stick to it and just go.
Yeah, I just like the premise of it. They're trying out a beta. They think,
Yeah.
everything's going to be cushy. They're going to level up whatever, and then they're stuck in there, and it's real life.
With anime related games or games related anime, I don't know which way it works. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's something that's always going to build me. Sword Art Online worked.
Yeah.
Log Horizon worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Game, No Life worked.
Only one season though, man. What happened with
Yeah, I
that?
think the next season will be coming out next year if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wicked. Okay, okay.
Don't you find that it's a bit painful with some of the important animes that, like, you get they hold you off. Do you know what I mean? Because it took a while for obviously Attack on Titan. Because I know they were catching up with.
But that's because they caught up with the manga. But also in Japan, they're having issues with. There's not a lot of animators anymore, and a lot of their companies are closing down. That's why there's certain series that only be like 12 episodes, and then you got ones which are 24. My Hero Academia is more than 12 this time because it's big everywhere else. And if you look at the production quality, it's a top quality anime.
No, that's true. That is true.
They've really spent their time animating it, especially with the fight scenes. And
Yeah.
I think within the first couple of episodes, they had a little tournament or little games, and they really took their time with it.
It's even like dubbed like 3 hours later. You watch it subbed and then it's dubbed.
Yeah. Because I mean that's what I'm saying. Because I'm trying to catch up with it. Obviously, I watched the first season in like a day. And only because I had other stuff to do, like I didn't get to watch the second season, which I'm going to do.
Yeah,
do
you definitely have to, man. Definitely.
But the second season I'll catch up like that because it is one that I'm really into. Because do you know what the thing is? That in its core, is one of those shows where it is literally like basically everyone walking around telling you ain't nothing special.
Yeah, he's definitely
Do you
the
know what I mean?
outcast.
Like,
of that.
yeah.
He's worked for it.
Yeah.
He really has. And for him being not the outcast, but being surrounded by people of greatness and not having greatness within himself, and then being offered the opportunity, and especially by the person that he looks up to.
Yeah, most admires.
Yeah.
I had the strongest.
That's like Iron Man coming up to me and say, "Yo, I believe in you. Here's a suit. I'm going to teach you how to be a hero." I'll be like, "Yes, sir. Yes, please."
Anything else you want me to do with that?
Honestly, I'll happily clean up the Avengers Tower.
No, I know what you mean. It's but and I think that's what really creates your connection to the character.
Yeah, it's the struggle.
Because I'll be honest with you, like, without going emo, but you know, like, generally because of my interests,
Yeah.
always been considered a bit of an outcast. So it's always easier to relate to these guys. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because you know what I mean. Like in high school, how many people did you actually know that were into freaking anime, comics, and all that stuff?
None.
Yeah,
that's a tricky one. I knew people that were into comics, but it was one of those situations where comics wasn't really
the cool thing, and you got to
Exactly.
keep it on the down low. Whereas now
people
it's
kept it
everywhere.
quiet.
Yeah.
Back
everywhere.
in our day, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Comics, anime weren't really something people said. Yeah, I watch. Me, I've just said it. That's
who
me.
I am.
Take
Yeah.
it or leave it. That's who I am. That's my jam.
Yeah.
But I know certain people that were like, no, I like it, but you know what? I'm not going to talk about it or tell people. I don't want to be the outcast.
And that's why I often find that's why it's. Because the other one that I found that it's not an anime, it's going back to comics quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Was X-Men.
Oh, what, the anime series?
Yeah.
Everyone loves, man. If you like...
But the thing is, the whole character set in general. Because they're a bunch of teenagers outcast. Do you know what I mean? Being outcast in your teenage... Because that's when you look at it. No Hero Academia. That is teenagers outcast.
Yeah.
No, he is himself.
He is
himself.
And you feel for him on an emotional level
because you can relate to it in such a way, and I think that's where it really hits home well. Because if like a comparison from that to me is like, okay, Gantz, right?
Yeah.
Now you can't relate to shit. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm sorry, like that is just some outlandish shit. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't relate to the character sets. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because that is just something completely different. Not taken away from the show, but you kind of watch it because it's certain overtone, what it holds within itself. But like with No Hero Academia, like shows like that, even Bleach, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, those, like I was saying, the outcast is the thing that you can kind of relate to because that was kind of me at my teens. Do you know what I mean? The awkward kind of, do you know what I mean? Geeky type kid that only a select few could relate to. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where it really kind of hits home. And I suppose now is what you were saying, Wolfbuster, earlier on, just a minute ago, was about, what's it called? You know, people, because it's acceptable and people admitting it now, that's why it's become such a big thing.
Yeah, it's mainstream now, isn't it? It's everywhere.
Because everyone can kind of accept it.
It's everywhere. Whereas, like you said before, where the internet is a lot more accessible now. So you can go on Crunchyroll, you can go you can use an official streaming service, or you could just go on YouTube, or you can. It's there. It's easy for you to get to. Everyone's got a smartphone.
Yeah.
Everyone can connect to the internet.
Yeah.
You could be on the train, on the bus, on the plane, on the toilet, and you could easily crack out an episode.
Crack out.
You gotta pick that up,
But years ago, we were limited with our options of how to watch something. Either you knew someone who could afford the services to watch something and you'd go around theirs, or you'd go
on
to
eBay, buy the box sets.
Exactly, that was it.
Malaysia
And they weren't cheap.
No, they weren't
cheap.
They weren't.
Even the games for anime-based games.
Oh my days, yeah.
I remember trying to get the Dragon Ball game for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
when I was
God,
younger.
yeah.
You could buy GTA for a fraction of the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that game would have cost you like 30 quid, and that was a lot.
I had to get it chipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Chipped and all this nonsense. And the thing is, it's what kind of what's it called? It's what kind of, if you knew you as a diehard when you was willing to go to that level.
Yeah.
And how many kids could you say, or even teenagers could you say were at that point? Because everyone went hard on Pokemon. They wanted to get chip stuff because they wanted to get green or whatever.
Yeah.
But no one went to that level when it came to, as you say, anime games or even getting certain of the movies online. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's not what's acceptable, you know? And I think now, like I say, it's one of those things of it's amazing. It really is amazing to see because I can be a bit of a dick and be turning around and be like, yeah, man already knows about that. I started watching that from there ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got that sense of superiority.
Yeah, that's the key word, superiority, because it's like, I already know about that. Why are you coming up? Why are you trying to talk to me? Like, I know, do you know what I mean? Like, because...
So you're like, yeah, settle down, peasant. Let me take you under my wing. Call me sensei from now on.
Because my thing is, I ain't even lie. Even though I have a slight superiority thing, like, there are certain people I know, like both of yourselves and certain others that I know that are really in tune with the anime stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that is one of the things where it's just like, I'm still asking, like, okay, you know, give me some pointers at which ones to catch up, because I'm slightly lazy. I'm like a jack of all trades and a master of none. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm fingers and everything because I'm a fat kid. But no, but sticking on animes though in general, because it is like, you know, it's an amazing thing. So for example, like Dragon Ball through to Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Knocking out Dragon Ball GT because that no longer counts.
Oh yeah.
No, that's got a special place in my heart. GT's got a special place in my heart. Everyone can diss it as much as they like.
Yeah.
I loved it, and it had a better ending than
all of them.
Z.
And Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
yeah.
It had a better ending than all of them.
Okay, but only one beef with it, or two beefs, right? Because it was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Realistically, it was a pretty cool idea because, fucking hell, Goku going around the universe saving people, it's like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because normally it was the threat or the villains came to you.
Yeah.
He has gone out and he's protected this planet or this world, this country, X, Y, Z. He's done all of that.
But it's just the pure fact that, you know, Pan and Trunks, piss off. Like, you just moisted out some of the better Saiyans just for them two motherfuckers.
My problem was...
I know, someone needed to stay behind to protect Earth.
Come on! You're telling me... I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry, I'm going off on one now. You're telling me how they moisted off Gohan, they would have been able to protect Earth.
Look, I've got issues with Gohan. Let's not start that. Yeah.
Right?
I've got a deep hatred for Gohan.
And Goten...
I think it started mainly in Super. I've had a deep hatred for Gohan.
Oh, okay, fair.
They've ruined him.
Yeah.
Back in Z,
he was the man.
He was the man, mystic form and everything. I was like, yes.
He was supposed to be the protagonist, man. That's where they screwed up when they made Goku again. He's the hero because you don't build a character up that way. Say he's the chosen one. Get him to unlock that mystic form, and then not do anything with him, and then it's the spirit bomb, hands up in the air.
Okay,
for 3 episodes.
Yeah, right. We're gonna have to take a little detour here because I want to touch on Super and the whole tournament arc.
Yeah,
just for a little while.
Yeah, God.
I know Brookzilla is not caught up yet, so spoilers for you. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. You can crack on with this because I'll be honest with you. I basically I cheated with Super, innit? I just watched a catch-up shit.
Yeah, that's all you need.
A recap. And to be honest with you, I'm glad I ain't sat down to watch 90 episodes?
There's only two things worth watching. This is what we were saying.
The tournament, Goku Black.
That is it.
And then this tournament, and then this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And even the first tournament, it's just a hit fight.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's about it.
It was the hit fight against Vegeta. Vegeta got his ass handed to him.
Yeah, which was...
And then against Goku, which was a decent fight, but, you know, everyone was expecting more.
Yeah.
And then all the other was just like, they weren't really bothered. But this current tournament is, it's finally started for one. Those were the longest 40 hours of my life.
When
they stretched 40 hours into like 8 weeks.
I think it was before December. Was it December they were talking about the tournament? And it's taken up till now for it to actually start? Are you kidding me?
I thought, to be honest, I thought it was going to start in September.
Oh my god!
Because one of my friends had worked out the maths, and he said it's going to work out in September.
Oh,
I'm glad he was wrong.
Yeah.
I've never been so glad he's been wrong because he's right 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
But the way they showcased like the Earth. Sorry, not Earth. Universe 7 Warriors.
Yep.
The way they portrayed Krillin, he went through the whole forest thing with the illusions.
Yep.
He'd been training hard. I thought, wow, he's going to show us something deep.
And then, first one to get knocked out.
Yeah.
What? Why? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say this. Why do you even hold out any hope for that little bald motherfucker? Because at the end of the
Because
day,
he's supposed to be Earth's strongest human.
They spent 3 or 4 episodes developing his. You can see. That's what my problem with Dragon Ball Super is. You can see that Piccolo's changed. Vegeta's definitely changed. He's more mature. He's got kids.
yeah.
He's a real dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? No, not pimp slapping them all the time.
Even Android 18.
Yeah.
He's not evil anymore. He's got a kid with Krillin. Krillin's
Even
definitely changed.
17's changed as well.
Yep. But my problem is Goku hasn't changed. He's regressed. He's worse than he was in Dragon Ball. And
He's still a child.
Yeah.
All he cares is about fighting.
Yeah, but
And I don't know, it's because in Dragon Ball Z I watched the dubbed, I didn't watch the sub. So I don't know if the translation is different. Because when I'm watching Super, I watch it subtitled.
yeah.
This Goku is not the same Goku as Dragon Ball Z. It's a completely different Goku.
Do you know what? I think if you just watch, if you like go back from Dragon Ball through to this one,
Yeah.
Goku's never really grown up. And I think it might be right in the translation sense, because the thing is, if you look at everything my man's doing, there's certain points that he's laughing and he don't even care about
There
his
you
kids, and he's trying to, do you know what I mean? Like, he is the true embodiment of a Saiyan. More than Vegeta. Vegeta learned to let that go and truly become human, in a sense, you know. What's it called?
Yeah,
what's
yes,
what's it
I
called?
understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Whilst Goku never, even though he's been there for longer, he never truly
All he cares about is fighting.
Fine, yeah, the strongest.
He essentially himself has put the Earth in danger more times than anything else.
Especially
you
now.
think the Black Ark was essentially his fault.
It is.
The Universal Tournament,
Yeah.
His
yes,
fault.
the Earth, the universes might have been destroyed, but he sped up the whole process by asking constantly, when is the tournament happening? What about that tournament?
Because wait, didn't he bring those two together? And then that's what this tournament's
Yeah,
about.
he brought them both together as playmates, which was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
I think everyone thought he was going to introduce them to his kids, Goten and Trunks.
That would have made more
There you go.
sense.
Yeah, there you go. There's two little playmates. Go have fun.
Yeah.
But no, he basically introduced him to his twin from a different universe.
Who's slightly older now and who
Who-
as powerful as he is. So let's.
But the twin is shifty. There's something with that twin.
There's something with that bloody angel, man. Mr. Smirk. The one who smirked. His
Yeah.
universe. He was at Universe 8, 9?
9, I think. Yeah.
He got wiped out. Everyone's dead. The whole universe gone. And
It
he's
went in an
smirking.
instant like that.
And he's like,
He's like,
smirking like a-
oh well, shit happens.
Yeah. There's something dodgy about that motherfucker, man.
Well, guess what? You could. Goku's probably going to be fighting him at some point.
Realistically, we all know how it's gonna end.
Yeah.
There's gonna be Vegeta and Goku left against Toppo and Jiren.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have to fuse. Whether they like it or not, that will be their choice. They're gonna have to fuse.
Yeah.
I swear they can't take.
They're gonna knock Toppo out.
Yeah.
The
I think they can beat it,
fusion's
yeah.
gonna become undone,
Yeah.
and then Jiren is probably gonna knock Vegeta out of the arena, and then it's gonna be just Goku and Jiren.
Because there's a couple of things that are fucked up with the fusion recently. Like, I swear if you fuse, you fuse, right?
Yeah, permanent. Yeah, no, they
Permanent.
changed it.
It depends what type of fusion. If we're talking about the earrings,
Yeah, that was
Or-
supposed to be permanent, wasn't it?
That's
And then
supposed to be
when they're
permanent,
saying
yeah.
humans can only fuse for like an hour as well. Not humans, but normal people
yeah.
can only fuse for like an hour. So my thing is just like, what they've done, and this is what's really annoying, is everything from Dragon Ball Z pretty much towards the end has basically just been told to fucking do one. Because they want to maintain this series for however long.
Yeah, they contradicted themselves too much. Like, only recently has Vegeta's daughter been born. She
Yeah.
should have been born before. It's not lining up, and they realised it.
Yeah.
But the whole explanation of I don't know, what was it? Now is it 30 minutes now? Because they're in god forms, and then they'll...
Yeah, the fusion only lasts like half an hour. Because they've got too much energy to
Energy,
burn,
yeah.
or they can't exactly control it. I don't know what the bullshit was. It lasts half an hour.
Which would have been fine if it lasted half an hour for the show, but that lasts 4 minutes on the actual episode.
So,
Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes.
They banged up Zamos a couple of times, or Black, and then it become boop. They're undone. I did.
And then Super Trunks had to save the day.
Oh my god! And the power scalings are just ridiculous.
is there even such thing anymore?
No.
It's ridiculous. Right, Blue is supposed to be the strongest form of the Saiyan currently.
Yeah.
But
Krillin sparred with a Blue.
With a Kamehameha times whatever.
Yeah, and it's not that they were evenly matched, but he survived longer than Gohan when he sparred against his dad in Blue form.
Exactly.
wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
A lot of it doesn't make any sense.
Wait, a minute there was like, was it the Rose, which is Goku's Black, was with pretty much Ham.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So now, okay, you're throwing in blue stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? Like, that's all I can literally say. Like, what the absolute fuck is going on? Are you trying to maintain a show just to maintain? Because, like, I'd seen fan art around going blue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fan art about going blue, but it's just like, okay, blue is now strongest, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But where are you going to go with it? At some point, I don't care. There is a limitation. And I think they're just like you were saying, it's just there's constant contradictions. Constantly. And it's
There's
just
too many.
It's too many contradictions, too many fillers. Like, you were just creating a show for the sake of
making money.
That is, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where I know. But it's also caught up. It's past the manga at this point.
Yeah.
So anything they do
is either they're gonna have to transition to the manga, or it's gonna be one of those anime only type things.
Yeah. Because like Goku Rose, that's anime only.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm officially fucking done with Dragon
I mean,
Ball
I think
Z.
the only reason people watch Super is because
They watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they've watched Dragon Ball Z. It's probably only one of the best shows there is to watch on the actual. I mean, for us, I think it's on a Sunday morning it comes out.
Yeah.
It's the best show on the Sunday because it's not like it's got a lot to compete with. It's only got Monster Hunter and
It's One Piece.
One Piece. Yeah, it's not got a lot of competition, to be honest. So they've released it on a day where they'll be the best show of the day.
Yeah.
And nostalgia. That's it.
That's
nah,
what
man.
it is, to be honest.
Nah, man. For when you started throwing in all this time travel bull, because at least with the original Dragon Ball Z, with the time travel, it wasn't a head fuck. Now they've literally just gone into the point of where you've got to know some sort of basic level, not physics, but do you know what I mean? Like, literally to understand it.
Anything,
Do you know what I mean? You got to understand the quantum theory or whatever. Like, I know none of that is probably true of what it actually is, but I'm just saying it is just so far out there that you just hit the point of some different level science fiction that it's not. Because
touching on that, we need to talk about Future Trunks as well.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Why did he defeat Zamus? And what was with the whole part blue, part yellow key?
See, because I haven't
did
explained
he take some of that God key? What was that? It never really got explained.
But I can't tell you because I just don't understand.
The whole thing's getting me angry.
Okay, my view is they've literally just thrown shit at you, expected you to take it,
and
without
fools, we've partly taken it
without
but we
questioning
still
it.
question things,
and we'll still watch it because, like you said, nostalgia outwins a lot of stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? It really kind of nostalgia wins head over heels. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's no other there's no other reason for it.
Oh no, without a doubt. But I just think they started this tournament bare early, so everyone forget about that. Because if you introduce something else, no one's going to be talking about what came before.
That's so true. It's so true because it's, as you said, with the because everyone recognizes any type of tournament.
Yeah.
So in the Dragon Ball kind of universe, whatever you want to call it.
There's
like,
always been a tournament. It's
there's
easy to just pick up.
It's easy
and
to relate to and just be like, oh, tournament this, tournament that, and then it's actually one of those things of where it's like, why? Do you know what I mean?
It's
like,
definitely true.
Why? Because for me, it's an absolute waste. It's a waste of it's an absolute waste of people's time. Do you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I don't know. I think I'm happy that I haven't watched it properly. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy that I've not caught up with it. I've not taken the time, and I've not really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I put a lot of effort in your own time in
Yeah.
it.
No, and I think that, and I'll be honest with you, like the ones that are out there now, like what's it called? Let's say Attack on Titan, for example.
Yeah.
That's something, because it is so fresh, because it is so adult. It really kind of hits home, in the sense of yes, we're now more mature. Do you know what I mean? Because one of them that got kind of underlooked, for me, as a show, was the Ghost in the Shell series.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Because it was one of those ones, like, my best way I could compare, like, and a lot of people might not get this, it's basically the Bill of animes.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
Yeah, because basically the stories, and it's very mature in the sense of it was a cop show. Do you know what I mean? And it actually pulled it off really well, And the thing is it was really underlooked. I think it hit home and it did well in sales and stuff like that. But if you look around, like, the general talk around it, like, it was put out there only to superficial people. People who aren't going to look past it and look into stuff like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, like really get into it, fairy tale, because a lot of people, when I say fairy tale, are looking at me like I'm a freak. Do you know what I mean? But it's actually pretty much awesome. And I honestly feel, so I honestly feel that,
I just think it didn't catch on that much because it came too late after the movie. What was the movie? 95 or earlier than that?
Yeah, it was like 95, 96. Even between that 3-year period, if I'm honest.
Yeah. So.
And it's true. Like you said, it's been forgotten about, because that was that explored a lot about consciousness. That was something that you really had to be kind of grown to understand.
Yeah.
Because I watched it again a couple of years ago, and there was like some stuff where it's just like, you needed to be an adult to understand this. You need to have a level of understanding to really kind of.
That's what happens with certain animes. You tend to rewatch them later in life because your perception and your understanding has changed and evolved. So I'm sure there's animes I've watched in the past, and I'm not sure for you guys, where you've watched it for the sake of watching it, but then you watched it in the future and you're like, oh, I didn't realise this. I didn't realise this. I didn't even take notice of this or take notice of that. But it's a good thing to do as well.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. But like I say, it's amazing to see where it's at, because the cross between animes to games these days is pretty freaking awesome. Because I'm trying to think of the first one that I'd ever really played that really got me hooked, because there's been a few, but yet they all kind of have that Dynasty Warriors feel for a few of them.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's one of the things that I told you about the other day is with anime games, they always have that anime feel to them. They're not trying to be something they're not.
Yeah.
From Dragon Ball games to the Naruto games to Bleach games.
Yeah.
All the action type games.
Oh yeah.
They will always have that anime feel to them. Even games like Pokemon or Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh or this or that, they'll always have the elements of the actual show in the game.
Oh yeah, I get you. But what I mean is, like, when you're saying the key one was the action based ones.
Yeah.
They had the Dynasty Warriors feel.
Okay, yeah.
Running around fucking up a shitload of characters, do you know what I mean? Whilst Pokemon, Digimon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically they had the RPG factor to it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
You know, like it's interesting to see how they do come across, because obviously you showed me, the video for Thing versus Attack on no.
Or was it the Excel World versus Sword Art Online?
That's the one, and even that looks very much based like.
It looks like an episode of the actual show.
Oh, really?
It does, yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing it.
I showed it to him like 2 days ago, and it was impressive.
But to be honest with you, it still has a Dynasty Warriors feel to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the hack and slash feel.
Yeah, the hack and slash feel, and it's going to be hard. It would be hard for any of them to step away from that, I suppose, because, I mean, yeah, I don't see any of them really going past that massive point of not being a hack and slash.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For some of them, they don't have to.
Yeah.
That's their thing. It's why if it's not broke,
Don't fix it.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, do you know what? It's like saying if it don't broke, don't fix it. That I wish some developers would pay attention to. Just because you're getting sales doesn't mean that it's not broke.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yes, I was leading on to that because I have a massive pet peeve about that. And again, this will be one of those things that people probably call me all words under the sun, and I'm not really fussed about it. But Call of Duty is a Twitch shooter. Nothing wrong with a Twitch shooter. Do you know what I mean? That's cool. But the problem is people have jumped on that bandwagon like it's shit hot. But it hasn't been for a long time. Because you look at a lot of the character models that we used and the feel of the game. The feel of the game very much felt like either...
It felt realistic.
Far from it. Far from it. Far from realistic.
From the previous Call of Duties I'm talking about, if we're talking about
Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
The
If we're
original
talking
one
about,
for...
yeah, the originals.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the first Black Ops, those had a tiny element of realism to them.
Okay, I'll tell you this now. This is my thing on it, right?
Yeah.
And I just honestly, Modern Warfare 4 was when the next generation of consoles came out. They really adhered to the next generation of consoles and really worked it.
Yeah.
That's when you saw real good quality in the work, story, online. Do you know what I mean? World at War was the next one where they took it to a different level. You know, World War Two. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is the models from both of those, right? If you play it again and really look at the map layouts,
Yep.
the character models of even down to how they change the gun, how they reload, all that stuff, right? I get that it's the same type of thing, but people have been sold a dream. Do you know what I mean? Because the same game had been released from Modern Warfare 4 all the way to Infinite Warfare. I don't care what anyone says. Do you know what I mean? Because it's basically the same crap. Because if you're going to turn around
It's
to
just
me...
a new skin on top.
Yeah,
of the
new
same
skin
what
on
it is,
top.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
if you're going to turn around and say to me, okay, no, but Ghost had destructible scenery. Battlefield's had that since Battlefield 2, Bad Company. Do you know what I mean?
That's definitely right.
And you can't promote it like it's something new. Like World War II, whatever the new Call of Duty is called, right? Fucking hell, people are losing their shit because what? You could actually shoot each other in a plane. Dogfights now. I'm sorry, again,
It's not.
Battlefield has had that a long time.
They're trying to change themselves too much. They got a lot of shit from the fans and people who played in that. They've lost their way. They're going into space. They've got robots. They've got
Too
this, they've got that.
futuristic, yeah.
Exactly. They weren't boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And now the next one is boots on the ground, but it's being compared to Battlefield 1.
Which is kind of messed up, but the problem is with that...
They can't help it. It's there's always going to be comparisons.
It's
Marvel,
more-
DC,
Yeah,
COD,
there's a-
Battlefield.
Yeah.
There's always going to be comparisons as long as there's
I
competition.
get that, but there's too little too late. Because if you're announcing that, yeah, okay, cool, you can have dogfights in this one, like it's something brand new to first-person shooter genre when it's not been. And if you're on the message boards hyping up about that, you're a fucking bellend. Do you know what I mean? Because you've been sold in. Because what happens is now is nothing is ever different. Do you know what I mean? Like Battlefield, for me, if you played Battlefield 4
Yep.
and played Star Wars Battlefront, the new one,
Yeah.
fucking similar. It's only Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of my view on it, because the feel of how you achieve the objectives, the shooting, you know, like everything. If you've kind of mastered Battlefield 4, you've gotten Star Wars Battlefront, do you know what I mean? But Battlefield 1 was where everything was reset.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Where it was
Back to
reset,
basics,
back
innit?
to basics, where you had to get a feel for all the weapons again. But, you know, the shame thing is, it's just like, I think right now, all the first person shooters need a break. They need to take a step back and...
I think the trend of first person shooters is...
It's dead.
It's dying. It's
Yeah.
dead.
It's dead.
I think we're more into the survival,
Open world survival, yeah.
open world survival
Okay,
type
yeah.
games. DayZ, H1Z1, player...
Unknown Battleground.
That's the one.
Ark.
Yeah, that's what people want. They want massive maps. They want hundreds of people. They want loads of enemies. They want allies. This is what they want to survive. They want to be essentially the king of the hill. That's what they want. And these type of first person shooters, they become predictable after a while. Once you know, right, there's an easy camping place.
Yeah.
There, I'm going to find this. There, people.
Yeah, people
this,
are spawned around here, blah,
this
blah,
is a
blah.
hot spot. Da, da, da. With games where it's open world, you know, yeah, they're still essentially your hotspots, but you're never going to find the same amount of people there. You know, right, there's different tactics.
Yeah.
And weapons aren't always found in the same place. One game, I don't know, Village A might have all the weapons. Next game, Village B might have all the weapons and all the armor and all the loot or whatever.
But again, we need to stop releasing. They need to stop pounding out these games, these first-person shooters that are no different.
Yeah, at least every 2 years instead of every year.
Because the problem is there's fanboys getting excited about crap. And I mean because Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4 was basically the same thing, you know.
Oh, okay.
Because if you I played Battlefield 3 on the PlayStation, and then with a PS3. Then when I started playing Battlefield 4, it's just like,
The same
it's
thing.
just similar, but it's just uber powered up on the amount of damage and destruction that can be happened in the map. Do you know what I mean? And I think at the same time is open world is kind of cool, but I think they're getting lost in size rather than size of the map and having it sparse rather than having something moderate and highly populated, you know.
Yeah, I get you.
And I think because everyone would be like, oh yeah, because GTA was it was big, but once you hit out of a certain area, it just became dusty. Do you know what I mean? And I think this whole thing of where everyone, what's that one? Just Cause 3.
Okay, I've actually bought it recently. I still haven't played
I haven't played it.
Okay, that is one of those ones where you've got this epically sized map. It's practically empty. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay, I get you.
What's the other one? Far Cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Far Cry 4. Again, another one that is like massive map,
It is massive.
but it's sporadic.
Yeah, you've only got to go to certain areas. If your mission doesn't tell you to go there, don't bother.
Don't worry,
That's what it is.
You know, you go in there and there might be some bits, but it's just a waste of time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's not enough content in these
Yeah.
certain areas then.
That's it.
Yeah, if you're going to populate something large, then, you know, have the content to match. Do you know what I mean? Because you get away with it in something like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Because it's just a broad map where you got to kill each other. You don't need a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can get away with it.
It's simple.
Yeah, you could make it even bigger and just be like, well, survive, bitches. Do you know what I mean? But when you're jumping into certain realms of things, you know, Watch Dogs, the original one, over pumped up, overhyped, and then when you got into the game, there wasn't that many people walking around the streets.
That was the first game I got when I got my PlayStation. It happened to be in the bundle. You bought the PlayStation, you got Watch Dogs 3.
Yeah.
I played it for about half an hour, then I dropped it.
Yeah. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. That's another one where, remember the thing we were saying, where you literally just, you float around and hope to find something in 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot going on. Do you know what I mean? And it's that whole thing where it's just like, have we gotten to a point where real content doesn't matter anymore?
Well, that's what it is about visuals now.
Yeah.
Because like Ghost Recon, even Destiny,
Oh yeah.
visually they're wicked, especially Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
But like you just stopped playing it a couple of days. I lasted maybe a month. Now everyone on my friends list when it came out playing Destiny, a month later no one's playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lasted.
I'm still playing it. I mean, I've only downloaded the Destiny 2 beta yesterday.
Same, I still haven't played it.
Yeah.
I played it early this morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning. I tried it out, and it's Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Again, you can see they've taken their time. They've really worked with it. It's shiny. It's new. It's changed, but at the core, it's still the same game.
Oh, okay.
And again,
You can add new modes. You
Yeah.
can make characters look different. Yes, they've improved on the story. I'll give them that.
Wicked.
From what I've seen so far,
Yeah.
the story does look.
They kind of had to,
Yeah.
because even though I completed the first game, I don't really remember the actual story. I don't.
didn't really
Yeah.
care. I'll be
Yeah,
honest
that's
with you.
what I'm saying.
I actually finished work, got a cab to Asda from work to take me home for Destiny, right?
Yeah.
Next day I sold it. That's how much I actually cared.
It's one of those things. I think all of my friends ended up buying Destiny when it came out, either the day it came out or
the same.
within the following weeks. I have my hardcore Destiny friends, which still play it to this day.
Yeah.
But a lot of them dropped out within the first 3 months. Either it's like, oh, it's just another shooting game. Oh, there's not enough to keep me hooked onto it.
Yeah.
But I think that's where Destiny might have fucked up a little bit, where they didn't release everything at once. I mean, the raid wasn't out straight away.
Yeah.
I think
It took them, 3-4 months before the first raid was out?
Exactly.
yeah, and
And then you have to have a team.
That was the hardest bit. I mean, I've only ever completed the first raid. Simply because I could not find another 5 people to do a raid
with. Yeah.
And if you did, you'd have to join someone else's group, and you'd get kicked out towards the end because they want to bring their friend in so they can get the loot. And it was terrible. Which Destiny 2 has improved on that from what we've seen at the E3 press conference. So now they have a matchmaking type thing for
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
for raids.
My thing is, right, anything released on E3,
It can't be trusted.
Can't be trusted.
can't
Yeah,
be
of course
trusted.
it can't.
It can't be
They're to
trusted
entice
anymore.
you, man.
They're
We need to remind
Yeah.
No Man's Skies again.
oh god,
We were sold promises and dreams. We were sold luxuries and nothing.
that got that.
Can you play with your friends? Yeah, of course, man.
no.
You can have these epic space battles. No.
If you want that, just freaking. Do you know what? Like one game I found right that promised not much. It's called Elite Dangerous.
Yes, I've heard you go on about this one before. I've taken a look and
Yeah, it does look good.
It does look good, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
not for the casual gamer, man.
Yeah, it's not because you really have to put some hours in. But it's one of those ones where you can literally just go at your own pace and nothing massively matters. But the thing is like I say, they didn't promise shit. If you land on a planet, it don't look that great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can do a couple bits.
Ah,
You
okay.
see
Yeah,
what it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
about
yeah.
landing. Like it's not like but it's a universe of stuff that you can play with your mates at least. Do you know what I mean? They didn't promise jack shit. But what I tend to find, and it's not just stuff being promised with what's it called from E3. It's just in general, like going back to Destiny as an example, right? Destiny. What happens is all of these guys have fallen into the trap of DLCs. They really believe
DLC has killed.
it's killed it
Oh,
because
without a doubt. Microtransactions and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's
because they honestly believe a lot of games these days honestly believe their game is solid enough to hold you before they release a DLC.
Yeah.
Fuck
But it's
no.
not.
Fuck no. There's shitloads of games, pardon my language, because this is one of those things that really irk me because it is like we have gone from having
a full game on a disc.
Yeah.
disc to literally being released the classic one, Assassin's Creed Unity. Do you know how
That was
broken
so
that game
buggy,
was? I made the mistake of downloading, got the day one edition because I was like, oh, Assassin's Creed on the next gen, this might be awesome. You can kind of play with your mates. I thought, come on, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, you could, oh, wow. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Get on it, nothing works. Half the stuff that they said you're going to do didn't even work. And then 6 months later, they decide to release a DLC. There's not 6 months worth of gameplay on any fucking game anymore.
Really? Most games you will end up finishing within a week. Depends on how much of a gamer you are and how much time you have.
Yeah.
I mean, the average person that works, let's say, 40 hours a week and has, I don't know, a couple of hours a day to game will finish a game within a couple of weeks. 3 weeks tops.
Yeah.
If you're a serious gamer, then it's kind
If you're a serious gamer, you'll finish the game in under a week. I mean, luckily for me, I've had the week off. So I've crapped out a few games. I mean, I finished the Borderlands Telltale games.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm halfway through Assassin's Creed now. The Syndicate. I think
Yeah, that's good.
It was
I
cheap.
like
I'm stuck on Dragon Ball the Xenoverse 2.
Oh, okay, I haven't played that yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on that at the moment, but that's because I've had the time. But like you said, no game will hold you down for months.
Yeah.
Because once I play a game and I'm finished,
That's
it's
it.
either staying on the shelf or it's going to get sold.
Unless it's Skyrim. I'm sorry. That initially, when I had it on PS3, I put, I think, over 1,000 hours into that game. I never really completed it because I just went sideways. Do you know what I mean? Which was awesome. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I was the opposite.
Because you really could develop and build, right? Now, that was an awesome kind of type of game because it was open world and you could do your own thing. But they had enough content in there. Do you know what I mean? They had enough content in there. They had enough content in there to last. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And then releasing DLCs, but they had enough content to release a DLC that patched it in well later on.
Yeah.
Because you still couldn't complete, like, do you know what I mean? There was enough in there. But like you're saying, what's getting out is just broken, unfinished games. And literally, I'll be honest with you, since, how long's the next gen console's been out for now?
4 years, I'd say, maybe.
It's got to be pushing 5 because they've just announced, is it 2019 or whatever, the PlayStation 5 or whatever it's called.
Too early in my mind. I think most consoles should have a life of 7 to 8 years, which has happened. But now, where one company wants to stay ahead of the other, they will push a product as quickly as they can.
And will it be ready though? That's what my fear is.
No, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Nothing. Do you know what the thing is, right? Do you know why they can't move on? You think of the Xbox 360 and the PS3, right?
Yep.
When they moved on, you could name more than a handful of games that were like, this was awesome. This generation of console, I can't name a single fucking game. I've got over 200 Xbox games.
Yep.
None of them tied me over.
Oh, there's only one for me, Witcher 3. That was the one game.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
That was the one game that tied me over.
And, you know, obviously, half of them have been re-releases. Do you know what I mean? We've literally brought into a next generation of gaming that has been absolutely wank from either side. You know, people need to take a step back and realise, like, as, let's say that 10% who are actual real gamers and the 90% are just commercial buyers.
Yeah.
Where price matters, right? But the 10% who love either one or the other, but they love their console, they love gaming. We have literally been mugged off for the 90%. We have not been catered for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
and yes,
understand
the
what you're
90% given most of the money.
Yeah,
but
that's
we've
where the
not
money
been,
comes from, isn't it?
Yeah, we've not been catered for because we have not had. I remember Elder Scrolls Online when it first was coming out. I thought that's amazing.
Yeah.
That died out after about 2 weeks. But yeah, I played like 18 hours a day at one point for 2 days. But you know, it still died out. Do you know what I mean? Like, even so, FIFA's one of those games that should be a constant updated DLC for each year.
There's no need to release a new game every day.
There isn't.
Because at the end of the day, it's the same game.
I saw the most offensive video and they said FIFA's going to be fire, right? It's talking about new crosses.
I say that every year.
Fuck off.
360 dribbling,
Yeah.
dynamic something, and they say the same stuff every year, and they produce the same crap.
Yeah.
I haven't played a FIFA game since I'm probably going to say 2009, maybe before.
That's fair.
Because I realised at that point, football games, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the graphics get updated. I think you have like some special packs that you you open up or.
Oh no, that's if you buy, and that's where microtransactions.
Yeah, that's
come
where
in.
they
Like you said before, microtransactions are killing games. They really are, because it used to be a thing of where you'd go out and earn what you wanted. You grind the grind. That's what you played for. But now it's, I can just spend 20 quid and open 3 loot boxes or this.
and already have all the content.
Yeah,
and
because
just
you
get it.
know who started some of that off as well for the first-person shooters, and I'll always hate them for this. Battlefield.
I did not realise that.
Battlefield, right, for the first-person shooters, because Call of Duty
Didn't
go
have
into
it.
that.
Nah.
You
It
had
was
to
a grind.
work. You had to
65,
grind.
whatever. Blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Oh,
blah,
I
Which
remember
is-
this. To get prestige and
Yeah.
get to this level, unlock this, get the points, X, Y, Z.
Battlefield, I think it was 3 or 4.
Yeah, from the get-go, as soon as you log in, they
You
have a
could-
little store thing. and
Yeah,
then-
11 quid to unlock the engineer complete.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it literally took
Interesting.
away from it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I will never entirely 100% crap on Call of Duty because they had some good stuff. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, the microtransactions are literally murdering what's left of gaming, because it started on your mobile. They realized it can hit a wider market. So like the new game I'm playing now, Fortnite, right? That is a microtransaction system. Because I'm a fanboy of certain survival zombie games, I bought the Founders Pack even though it's out next year for free. I'm not going to lie, and yes, I can be a bit of a hypocrite, I'm human. But it has microtransactions. And it's such a shame.
But the thing is, not even all microtransactions are good. Like you said earlier with the Battlefield, unlock this class and you've got it all 100%. But now they're doing, top up 800 coins or whatever, and then you can get this emote, or you can get this.
Yeah.
The problem
They're
I've
these
got, man.
stupid microtransactions which people will still buy into. In Destiny, they did it last year. I think they released it. Microtransactions for silver coins or whatever. Sorry.
Yeah.
And now you use these coins to purchase emotes or new colourful ships.
Yeah.
But you think these ships do
Don't do
exactly
anything.
the same thing as the regular ships.
Yeah.
It's not that, one of the 2 ships might turn a bit quicker or might go 10 miles per hour faster. But at the end of the day, you can still earn these
Exactly.
in certain events that they do. I am not going to be paying top up 800 coins to spend 10 or 20 quid or whatever just to make my character dance or have a glowing head or get a sword in a different colour. Don't get me wrong, as it's the cosmetic feel, everyone wants to look different from their friends and everyone else. They want to stand out. They want a peacock.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. They know people will do it. They will buy it. Not necessarily if you want to buy the emote or the flashy sword or this dance move or whatever.
It's at 90%.
You will still buy it for something they release in the future, which will catch your eye. There will always be that thing about, oh wow, I like the look of that gun, or I like the look of this, I like the look of that. And I'm sure we've all fallen into the microtransaction lots of times. I know I've done it for Guild Wars 2. I thought, oh my god, that's a badass looking armour.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But is it actually going to affect my gameplay? No. I'm just going to look good when I die. That's it.
I'll tell you, it is one of the... Everyone's kind of been brought into it on phone or wherever. Some of us just can't...
The phone ones are the worst for me. It's because for me anyway, where I can pay for microtransaction using my O2 account and have it added onto my bill, or use my PayPal, I can easily go, I need one more gem to purchase this.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, buy 30 gems for 10 quid. I was like, is there not a cheaper deal? Oh yeah, you can get 10 gems for $3.99, one off release.
That's how they entice you
with a bonus 5, and you're like, oh wow, that's a really good deal. I mean, Pokemon Go is another one. I used to spend, for me and my girlfriend, 20 quid a month on the just for coins.
Oh, okay.
And for what? To get some incubators for my eggs to hatch faster.
Walk.
I couldn't. Yeah, it was the thing. Yeah, I can walk, but I'm not willing to walk 10k every day for an egg to hatch. When I can put 9 eggs to hatch all at once. And now it's got to the point where I realise, you know what? I am spending my money on stupidness. I can't be doing this anymore.
But at least you realised it. There's certain people.
Yeah, I realised it too late after I've invested a good maybe 120 into it.
Well, I mean, I think like this has been obviously pretty freaking awesome, to be fair, because gone and touched on a bit of everything and realising how actually crazy we are about certain stuff, which isn't bad, you know, and hopefully no one's, you know, people kind of not been too offended by some of the stuff in there, you know, but I think, yeah.
We probably should have said beforehand it was 18.
18, yeah. Yeah, but there is one thing, like, on a bit more of a somber note, because there is one thing that really was quite sad. It was last week, finding out George Romero died. Now,
That was, yeah.
it's not like the massive thing, but for me, because I remember watching the original black and white Night of the Living Dead at 7 years old. Yes, that's messed up and I probably shouldn't have done it. But the thing was...
We all did it though.
That scarred you for life.
But the thing is, people may think it is something as inane and not important. But you got to think, we wouldn't have Resident Evil.
A lot of the horrors we have today, we wouldn't have.
It's not horror, but it's Walking Dead we wouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? From games to movies to series. There's a lot that came from the back of this guy. And whatever people may think, you know, zombies are not my thing. But realistically, you got to think, that's the granddaddy of all zombie movies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The zombie genre, full stop. Because, you know, if you look into, even down to comic books.
Yeah.
It wasn't the flesh-eating zombie. It was just the mindless person. But
Yeah,
he really brought in the whole, you know, the horror side of it. And you know what? Like, it really affected everything I do. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I spend most of my money on some of the zombie survival horrors. Because that's my shit. I'm that guy that is so ignorant and a typical black folk that's like screaming at the TV at zombie films.
Why are you going in there?
Why are you doing such stupid
Run
shit?
away.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I get into it because it's cool. Because sometimes, and it's also the fact of what he put into it, which was not just the zombies themselves, but he looked into human nature in a disaster situation.
Okay, yeah.
Because you look at a lot of the films where it's people of different backgrounds trapped somewhere, and then looked into how they would behave.
Yeah,
do you know
communicate,
what I mean?
yeah.
Communicating how they'd behave in trying to survive, and if someone would fuck over someone else, do you know what I mean? Because that's who we are. And then that brought in the wider genre of zombie movies, which for me, I tell you this now, I'm a zombie freak. I'm at that point where I am at that age now where I can start to afford stuff, and I have been talking to people because the apocalypse is coming and about buying a piece of land.
Everyone's got their zombie contingency plan.
It's not see, people have got a bit of a contingency plan. Mine is buy a piece of land, build a bunker, and actually is something I'm going to follow through with. Because yes, I'm batshit crazy, but I honestly believe it. Right? That's something that's going to happen. But no, in all honesty, it is such a sad, you know, it was a sad day, you know. And another one I have to touch on as well, because this was pretty shocking to me, and that was Chester from Linkin Park killing himself.
It's a sad day, man. He
Do you know what I mean?
defined a genre for people.
It was an awesome artist and actually had a really good voice, but you know,
I think the band is now over, unfortunately.
unfortunately,
Yeah, with
so
the thought, so you can't replace him.
Yeah,
lead
you can't
singer.
replace the lead. I mean, you look at previous bands in the past where the lead has unfortunately killed themselves or died, and the band can't recover. You use your drummer, your guitarist, your bassist, and
Someone replaces them.
as bad as it is saying they can be easily replaced.
But
Once you lose your lead singer,
Yeah.
it's unfortunately over for
Yeah.
the band.
it really is, you know, and that's another shame thing. But on a brighter note, I think, you know, I want to thank everyone for listening. For one, if you've made it through this podcast, because it was our first one and it had been a long one because we've had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we said we were going to stick it to an hour, but unfortunately we made it to 2.
Ooh.
We had a lot of content to go through.
And, you know, we will tighten it down, we will burn out, but thank you for surviving at least most of the way. And what I want to say is, you know, we will be posting links for the guys because we've got Wolfbuster who has his YouTube channel, which is...
It's Mr. Wolfbuster. You'll find that on YouTube, youtube.com/Mr. Wolfbuster.
And then also we have Mr. Defiance, which is...
Defiance Plays, and you can find that easily on YouTube.
See, and myself, I'm just here talking because that's what I do best. But yeah, no, thanks everyone. This has been Geek Pleasure at Nothing But Banter. And yeah, we'll close it down there. See y'all later.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good time.
Later.